Good afternoon. I'd like to show you some of the processes that I use in completing one of my collages. The ones that we're going to focus on today revolve around the inspiration that I get from traveling. The work that you have previously seen was specifically revolving around Paris or Amsterdam. So here in front of me on the table, I have a variety of things that I probably collected while I was on vacation. Ticket stubs from mass transit in a bag that I got in some gift store, maps, and even pieces of our itinerary that I have printed out. Oh, this happens to be a restaurant menu, so I try to pick up things that are in the native language anytime that I am traveling. And I often begin by randomly placing papers down. In this case, I would like to start with some of this text. And I am working on the surface. My ground here is an illustration board. I have some matte medium, which is going to be my glue. On this particular paper works best when brushed evenly on the back of the paper. Getting nice and curly there. And just want to start by pressing that down, trying to get it straight, and trying to remove any air bubbles. Sometimes it helps to have a small brayer or roller, and I think I see one over here. I'm going to begin this piece by just opening my ink pad and putting some texture down on the background. This particular stamp is it's actually gibberish, but it makes a really nice texture. I'm not too concerned if it's a really perfect print. I'm just looking to get some background interest. Once that step is complete, I'm going to move on to papers. In this next section, I'm going to begin layering some translucent papers right over the stamping that I've done. Again, I'm looking for background interest. I'm going to tear them in irregular shapes. This tissue paper may have actually come from Paris, but it might be one of those things that I just picked up somewhere else along the way. I'm putting a coat of matte medium down, first on the illustration board, and then right on top. Because the tissue paper is so thin, the matte medium goes right through it. I've got a few wrinkles there. I'm not too concerned about them because I'll be laying additional things in as I go. A little bit of matte medium under, and then a lot on top. And let's just get some over here also, just to keep that balance and unity going. Now that I've got some pattern in the background, I think I'll move on to some opaque papers. One of the many things I collect while traveling are maps. I try to pick them up at every corner store, in every hotel lobby, because they make such wonderful collage things. And of course, because they are unique to the city, that I am in. It's also fun to go back and read all the different street names in the map and see the various places we've been. Now, I didn't put any glue down underneath this because my last step had left the surface pretty sticky. So I'm just pressing this map piece into that stickiness. But I do feel one spot over here that's gotten kind of dry. So I'm getting some more matte medium under that. Sometimes it even helps to take a brayer to really make sure that your papers are pressed down evenly and to get rid of any air bubbles that might be trapped underneath. Just fold that. Now that I've added a little bit of the map of Paris here at the bottom, I'm going to take some stamps here. Here's a small fleur-de-lis, and just, where have I hidden them? Put a few stamps in here and there. I'm not even too concerned if they make a really precise print. I'm just looking for background patterns and textures. This nice light one is kind of nice. And just for some more Parisian flavor, one of these more decorative stamps right over the text there, and a little bit here, so that I'm pulling the composition together, repeating various designs throughout and giving it a little bit of unity. At this point, I'd like to begin to unify the color. There's so much blue at the bottom now in the map that I would like to bring that blue up into the top of the piece. So I have a palette here that has a translucent white, that would be zinc white, and some cobalt blue. And I'm going to mix those with a little bit of the matte medium, which will also help to thin it. And I will begin to glaze that blue directly on top. Now I'm working pretty quickly because acrylics dry quickly. And I would like to just thin that a little bit with my squirt bottle, just water in that. While the paint is still tacky, I can press a variety of objects into it that will lift it or press patterns into it. I'd like to repeat that pattern at the bottom, so one way to do that is to put the paint directly on this. This is a piece of shelf liner, or I think you can use it underneath your carpet to keep from skidding. And that gives me a really nice texture there. Oh, I like the dark on top of it. I'm going to repeat some of that up in here and there and here. I've come far enough with this piece that I think it needs to be set aside and dry. I'll revisit the collage process with a piece that is about Amsterdam as soon as I set this over here.